Welcome to Story to Sleep Asterisk, your new sanctuary for peace, imagination, and rest. Here, we believe that stories have the power to gently guide you away from the noise of the day and into a place of calm. Whether you're trying to fall asleep, wind down after a long day, or just escape into a world of soothing words, you're in the right place. Each video on this channel is crafted to help you slow down, breathe deeply, and drift off naturally. From ancient tales to original bedtime stories, gentle narrations to calming soundscapes, everything here is designed to help your mind find stillness. So if you're ready to turn off the outside world and reconnect with your inner quiet, you're exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to subscribe to Story to Sleep and hit the like button if this space brings you comfort. It helps us grow and keeps the stories flowing. Thank you for joining us. Your journey to rest begins here. Now, just press play, close your eyes, and let the story take you. Asterisk, the Lake of Gentle Dreams. An Aztec bedtime story asterisk. Asterisk Chapter 1. The Whispering Canoe. You wake to the soft rustle of reeds, swaying gently around your canoe. The quiet lapping of Lake Texcoco against the wooden hull creates a rhythm as ancient as time itself. You are floating peacefully on the sacred waters that cradle Tenochtitlan, the great island city of the Aztecs. Your fingers drift into the cool water, feeling the silk-smooth surface rippling outwards in perfect, widening circles. The lake stretches out around you, wide and endless, painted in shades of jade and turquoise, reflecting the gentle glow of the morning sky. Tiny waves catch the sunlight, sparkling like scattered beads of obsidian. The canoe beneath you, carved from a single cypress trunk, its wood polished smooth by the hands of those who came before. You feel the grain beneath your fingertips, warm from the sun, firm and reassuring. Paddle rests quietly across your lap, its blade still wet, tiny droplets of water falling back to the lake like pearls. Around you, the chinampas float like green, drifting islands. These floating gardens are wonders of Aztec wisdom and care, built from layers of woven reeds and rich, dark mud from the lake bottom. Each rectangular plot is full of life. Tomatoes hang in heavy clusters from their vines, glowing red in the light. Squash blossoms bloom wide, golden cups, reaching upward to drink in the morning dew. You inhale deeply, slowly. The air is filled with the scent of growing things, fresh soil, clear water, and a faint sweetness. Blossoms perfume the breeze. Marigolds line the edges of many chinampas, their petals bright orange, glowing like tiny suns. The Aztecs call them Simpasical asterisk, flowers that guide spirits home. Nearby, a heron stands still in the shallows, its long neck curved like a question mark. Its feathers, gray-blue and soft, blend into the morning mist still clinging to the lake's quiet surface. You watch as it steps slowly, each motion deliberate, graceful. The bird moves like it remembers something about patience that the rushing world has long forgotten. Your canoe drifts, ever so slowly, carried by currents so gentle, they feel like whispered secrets beneath you. In the distance, the city begins to appear, Tenochtitlan. Its limestone pyramids and temples rise from the water, gleaming white, like jewels placed carefully upon the lake. Smoke curls upward from the early cook fires, thin ribbons rising into the clear air, carrying with them the sense of corn tortillas and warm chocolate. Sacred copal incense drifts between them, mixing earth and spirit, a perfume of safety, of home, of memory. The water beneath your canoe is so clear, you can see all the way to the lake bed. Smooth stones rest there, like sleeping turtles, undisturbed and still. Tiny fish dart between the tangled roots of submerged water lilies. Their silver scales catch the light, each one a living spark gliding through the green depths. You lean forward carefully, watching their silent dance, hypnotized by their effortless grace. They move like liquid light, following no path, needing no direction, only the quiet rhythm of the lake to guide them. A gentle breeze stirs the surface, sending perfect ripples outward across the water. The sound is soft, rhythmic, like a lullaby sung by the lake itself. You close your eyes and listen. The reeds murmur, the water whispers, telling stories of ancient rains, of patient seasons, of seeds sleeping deep in the mud, waiting for the perfect moment to rise and grow. Your canoe rocks gently as a larger craft passes in the distance. You glimpse the silhouette of another traveler, perhaps a farmer checking his chinampas, or maybe a fisherman, casting his nets into the quiet morning, searching for tiny lake fish, glistening like silver coins beneath the surface. The wake from his canoe reaches you, a slow series of soft, round bumps, rocking you gently like a cradle made of water. You open your eyes, just in time to see a butterfly land softly on the edge of your canoe. Its wings are painted in brilliant orange and black, the colors of sunset and rich, fertile earth. It rests there for a long moment, its wings opening and closing like a breathing flower. Then, just as silently, it lifts into the air, disappearing into the tall reeds that line the shore. The morning sun climbs higher in the sky, its warm fingers reaching across the lake, touching your skin, gently melting away the last bits of tension from your shoulders. Your breath slows, matching the soft, steady rhythm of the water beneath you. The canoe continues its slow, peaceful drift, guided not by oars, but by quiet currents that seem to know the way. You surrender to this ancient wisdom, allowing the lake to carry you toward whatever peaceful destination awaits. In the distance, you hear the soft splash of oars, the musical call of water birds, the faint whisper of wind moving through the cattails. These sounds blend together into a perfect symphony of tranquility. Each note placed just so, like part of a song written by the lake itself, played only for those who know how to listen. Your eyelids grow heavy as the warm sun and gentle rocking begin to work their ancient magic. The lake holds you safely, patiently, as it has held others before you through countless seasons. You drift between waking and dreaming, cradled by waters that have known civilizations, witnessed the rise of temples, and whispered lullabies to children long forgotten by time. The last thing you remember is the soft sound of water lapping gently against the hull of your canoe, and the distant call of a crane echoing through the reeds. Your breath deepens and slows, matching the eternal rhythm of the lake. And then you slip peacefully into sleep, floating on waters that have carried dreams for 1,000 years. Chapter 2: The Garden of Floating Flowers ***. You find yourself walking barefoot along a narrow path that winds between the chinampas. Each step you take, your feet sink slightly into the earth, so rich, so soft, it feels like walking on clouds. The soil beneath you is dark and fertile, a mixture of lake sediment, decomposed plants, and the patient care of generations of Aztec farmers. This land is alive, and every step you take releases the sweet scent of growing things. On either side of the path, water channels reflect the sky like still mirrors. Bridges of wood arch gracefully over these waterways, their surfaces worn smooth by countless feet that have crossed before yours. You pause on one of these bridges and feel the sun-warmed wood beneath your soles. You watch the gentle current below, carrying lily pads downstream like tiny green boats, sailing slowly on a silver road. The gardens stretch out in every direction, a floating patchwork of emerald rectangles. Each chinampa is perfectly measured, roughly 30 paces long and 2.5 paces wide. There is harmony here, a quiet, geometric rhythm that makes the land feel like it was drawn by music. The Aztec engineers understood this, that beauty and usefulness can exist in perfect balance. Tall corn stalks rise up around you, their leaves rustle softly, like gentle rain falling on feathers. The plants are arranged in the traditional way, grown together in sacred companionship: corn, beans, and squash. The Aztecs call them the Three Sisters. The corn stands tall, offering a living ladder for the climbing beans. The beans, in turn, give nitrogen to the soil, and the squash spreads low, its broad leaves shading the ground, keeping the soil cool and protecting it from weeds. You kneel beside a small mound of earth, and run your fingers through the rich, dark soil. Clings to your skin, staining your fingertips black. This is not just dirt. This is life. It is lake mud, rotted leaves, and the careful touch of farmers who know the land is sacred. The Aztecs call it tlalai, and they treat it with the reverence given to a living being. Nearby, heavy clusters of tomatoes hang from thick vines. Their skins shine in the sun, smooth and taut. Some are deep red, others still green, with golden streaks just beginning to bloom across their surface. You reach out gently, cupping one tomato in the palm of your hand. It is warm from the sun and surprisingly heavy, full of juice and seeds, each one carrying the quiet promise of future gardens and the wisdom of the past. A gentle splash draws your attention to the water channel beside the path. You turn your head and see a family of ducks gliding through the still water. The mother leads, her ducklings following in a perfect, careful line behind her. Their small paddling feet send ripples outward, a V-shape that widens as they pass. Each ripple catches the morning light, glittering like scattered diamonds across the surface. You watch them until they disappear around a bend in the channel. Only the soft sound of water remains, lapping gently against the walls of the chinampa. You continue walking slowly, breathing in the pure, living scent of green plants and clean lake water. Everywhere around you marigolds bloom. Their petals burst in colors of orange and gold, as bright as little flames dancing in the morning sun. The Aztecs plant these flowers not just for beauty, but to honor memory. They believe these vivid colors help guide the spirits of ancestors home, especially during sacred festivals. As you walk past, your hand brushes a marigold. Its petals release a spicy sweet fragrance, warm, earthy, alive. Up ahead, you notice an elderly farmer tending his garden with practiced ease. He moves with the quiet grace of someone who has spent a lifetime in harmony with the land. His hands, leathery and wise, know how much water each plant needs, how to pinch back a blossom to encourage fruit, how to read the small signs that whisper secrets of health or illness in every leaf. He wears a simple loincloth and a cape woven from coarse maguey fiber. The color is soft, the hue of undyed cotton, practical, breathable, made by hand. On his head rests a broad-brimmed hat, woven from palm fronds, shielding his face from the sun, while allowing cool air to flow through. Around his neck hangs a small jade amulet. It is carved in the shape of a single corn kernel, a symbol of life and abundance, of all that grows. Taller crops cast shade for more delicate ones. Deep-rooted plants grow beside shallow-rooted neighbors, so they never compete for what's beneath the soil. Bright flowers attract the right insects, those that protect rather than harm. This is not random. This is wisdom. This is a system born of centuries of watching, learning, and loving the land. This is permaculture, as practiced by a people who understood that to live is to listen, to balance, to give, and to receive. You take a breath, feeling gratitude swell in your chest for the plants, for the soil, for the hands that shape the earth with such quiet devotion. A butterfly lands on a nearby squash blossom. Its wings are a stunning mix of blue and black, with tiny white spots. It feeds delicately, its long tongue curling deep into the flower's center. The sight is hypnotic, a perfect example of the mutual gift between flowers and pollinators. The butterfly takes nectar. The flower receives pollination, nature's ancient bargain. You sit on a low stone at the corner of one chinampa. Your feet dangle in the clear water of the channel. Small fish dart between your toes. Their touch is light as feathers. The water is surprisingly warm, warmed by the sun and sheltered by surrounding plants. You lean back, feeling the stone's warmth against your spine. You listen to the symphony of the floating gardens. Water gurgles softly as it flows through channels. Leaves rustle in the gentle breeze. Insects hum their ancient songs. Birds add their voices to the chorus. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the soft splash of a pole guiding a canoe through narrow waterways. All these sounds blend together into a lullaby rising from the earth itself. The sun is warm on your face, but never harsh. Its light filters through the green canopy of corn leaves and squash vines. You close your eyes. You breathe deeply, tasting the rich oxygen released by thousands of plants. You feel your body relax, matching the rhythm of growth and renewal that pulses through every corner of this floating paradise. A gentle breeze carries the scent of chocolate flowers, the Aztecs' sacred cacao. These small, delicate blossoms will one day become the beans used to make the drink of the gods. The fragrance is subtle but intoxicating. It mixes with the earthier smells of soil and growing vegetables, creating a perfume that speaks of abundance and peace. Your breathing slows as the tranquil atmosphere works its magic. The gentle sounds of water and growing things sync with your heartbeat. Your muscles release their tension, sinking into the warm stone, like snow melting in spring sunshine. You feel connected to the ancient rhythm of planting and harvest, growth and rest that has sustained human civilization since the beginning of time. The floating gardens hold you in their green embrace, rocking gently on the lake's surface like a vast cradle. You drift into a state between sleeping and waking, where the boundary between yourself and the living world around you seems to dissolve. Your dreams are filled with the scent of marigolds and the soft whisper of water through the reeds as the chinampas carry you deeper into peaceful rest. Chapter 3. The Temple of Gentle Light ***. You find yourself standing at the base of the temple of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god who brings wisdom and gentle rains. The pyramid rises before you in perfect terraces, each level smaller than the one below, creating a stairway that seems to ascend directly into the sky. The limestone blocks are fitted together so precisely that not even a knife blade could slip between them. Your bare feet rest on stones worn smooth by countless pilgrims. The surface is warm from the sun, yet somehow cool to the touch. Each block was carved by master craftsmen who understood that their work was not just construction, but a form of prayer made manifest in stone. You can feel the devotion that went into every carefully placed surface. The temple walls are adorned with intricate carvings that tell stories of creation and renewal. Feathered serpents undulate across the stone surfaces, their bodies intertwining in patterns that represent the eternal cycle of seasons. Their eyes are inlaid with jade, catching the light and seeming to watch over all who approach with benevolent attention. You begin to climb the gentle steps, each one just the right height for a comfortable ascent. The Aztec architects knew that this journey should be meditative, not exhausting. So they designed stairs that encourage contemplation rather than breathless rushing. Your breathing remains steady and calm as you rise slowly toward the sky. On either side of the stairway, stone jaguars crouch in eternal vigil. Their spotted coats are rendered in exquisite detail, each rosette carved with loving precision. Their eyes are closed as if in peaceful sleep, yet there is an alertness about them that suggests they are aware of everything that passes. These great cats represent the power of the earth, strength tempered with wisdom. As you climb higher, the view of Lake Texcoco expands below you. The water stretches to the horizon like a sheet of hammered silver, dotted with the green rectangles of chinampas and the white sails of trading canoes. From this height, you can see the geometric perfection of the floating gardens, arranged in patterns that please both the eye and the mathematical mind. Copal incense burns in small braziers carved into the temple walls. The sweet smoke rises in thin ribbons, carrying prayers upward to the gods. The scent is resinous and clean, like pine forests after rain. It mingles with the fragrance of flowers that grow in the temple gardens, creating an atmosphere of profound peace and sanctity. Halfway up the pyramid, you pause at a small platform where a fountain flows continuously. The water emerges from the mouth of a stone fish, cascading into a circular basin lined with turquoise tiles. The sound is musical and soothing. Each drop creates perfect ripples that expand outward in ever-widening circles. You cup your hands and drink. The water is cool and pure, tasting of mountain springs and clean stone. Above the fountain, a carved relief depicts Tlaloc, the rain god, with his distinctive goggle eyes and fanged mouth. But this representation is gentle rather than fearsome, showing the god in his aspect as bringer of life-giving rains. His hands are extended in blessing, and tiny carved raindrops fall from his fingers onto fields of corn and flowers. You continue your slow ascent, feeling the stress and worry of daily life falling away with each step. The higher you climb, the more peaceful you become, as if the temple itself is drawing away all the tensions and anxieties that weigh down the spirit. Your shoulders relax, your breathing deepens, your mind grows quiet and still. Near the top of the pyramid, you encounter a small shrine dedicated to Zakaketzel, goddess of flowers and love. Fresh marigolds and roses are arranged around her statue, their petals still damp with morning dew. The goddess is depicted as a young woman, with flowers woven into her hair, her expression serene and compassionate. She watches over all who seek beauty and harmony in their lives. The final steps bring you to the temple's summit, a circular platform open to the sky. Here the wind moves freely, carrying the scent of flowers and lake water. The view is breathtaking, but in a way that calms rather than excites. You can see for miles in every direction, taking in the vastness of the lake, the green patchwork of gardens, and the distant mountains that ring the valley like protective walls. At the center of the platform stands a simple altar made of polished obsidian. Its surface reflects the sky like a dark mirror. Fresh flowers are arranged around its base, their colors bright against the black stone. This is not a place of sacrifice, but of contemplation, where people come to offer gratitude for the gifts of life and growth. You sit cross-legged on a woven mat placed before the altar. The fibers are soft beneath you, dyed in gentle shades of blue and green that echo the colors of water and growing things. As you settle into position, you feel the ancient peace of this place, settling into your bones. The temple has witnessed countless moments of prayer and meditation, and that accumulated tranquility seems to emanate from the very stones. The sun is beginning its descent toward the western mountains, painting the clouds in soft shades of coral and gold. But the light is gentle, filtered through a thin haze that softens all the edges of the world. Everything seems to glow with an inner radiance, as if lit from within by some benevolent force. A gentle breeze stirs the flowers on the altar, releasing their fragrance into the air. The scent mingles with the copal incense and the clean smell of lake water, creating a perfume that speaks directly to the soul. You breathe deeply, feeling each inhalation carry away another layer of tension. Each exhalation releases you more fully into the present moment. Birds will overhead, their wings catching the golden light. They cry softly to each other, their voices blending into a song that seems to emerge from the sky itself. You watch their graceful flight patterns, hypnotized by the effortless way they ride the thermal currents, rising and falling without apparent effort, masters of the art of surrender. to natural forces. Your eyelids grow heavy as the peaceful atmosphere works its magic. The temple holds you in its ancient embrace, cradling you with the wisdom of countless generations who have found solace in this sacred place. You feel yourself becoming part of the eternal rhythm of worship and rest, prayer and peace that has echoed from these stones for centuries. The last rays of sunlight paint the world in shades of amber and rose. You sink deeper into meditation, your breathing synchronized with the gentle wind that moves through the temple. Your thoughts become as soft and formless as clouds, drifting across the clear sky of your awareness, and you rest in the profound silence that exists at the heart of all sacred places. Chapter 4. The Evening Market of Whispered Songs *. You find yourself walking through the great market of Tlatelolco as the sun begins to set, casting everything in golden light that makes even the simplest goods seem precious. The marketplace stretches as far as you can see, a maze of stalls and vendors arranged in perfect geometric order. Each section is dedicated to different types of goods, from flowers to feathers, jade to chocolate, all organized with the mathematical precision that the Aztecs bring to everything they create. Your feet move silently across smooth stone pathways, worn to a satin finish by countless shoppers. The sound of your footsteps is absorbed by the soft murmur of conversation, the gentle rustle of goods being examined, the musical tinkle of jade beads and copper bells. Everything is conducted in hushed tones, as if the approaching evening has cast a spell of tranquility over the entire marketplace. The flower sellers have arranged their goods in patterns that rival the beauty of temple carvings. The textile section draws your attention with its symphony of colors and patterns. Woven cotton mantas hang like banners in the gentle evening breeze. Some are pure white, smooth as water. Others are dyed in rich hues, using pigments from cochineal insects, indigo plants, and mineral deposits. The geometric patterns speak of mathematical understanding, combined with artistic vision, each design telling a story of cosmic harmony. A young boy sits beside his grandfather's stall, carefully sorting obsidian blades by size and sharpness. The volcanic glass catches the dying light, each piece gleaming like a captured star. These are not weapons but tools, used for cutting vegetables, harvesting plants, and creating the intricate stone carvings that adorn every temple and palace. The grandfather watches his grandson with patient eyes, knowing that the skills being learned today will serve the family for generations. You move through the pottery section, where vessels of every size and shape line neat rows on woven mats. Clay water jugs sit beside delicate cups, used for drinking chocolate. Their surfaces are burnished to a warm glow, some decorated with painted designs that echo the natural world, spirals like water, zigzags like lightning, dots like stars scattered across the night sky. The sound of soft drums draws your attention to where musicians play gentle rhythms on clay instruments. Their music is not loud or demanding, but subtle and hypnotic, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Other players join with wooden flutes that sing like birds, their voices weaving together into melodies that seem to rise naturally from the peaceful atmosphere of the market. At a spice vendor's stall, the air is perfumed with the scents of vanilla, cinnamon, and chili peppers of every variety. The vendor grinds spices fresh as customers watch, using a stone metate worn smooth by generations of use. The sound is rhythmic and soothing, like rain on a roof. Each spice releases its unique fragrance as it's ground, creating a symphony of scents that makes your mouth water. Children weave between the stalls, their movements graceful and unhurried. They carry small baskets or clay vessels, helping their parents with the evening's shopping. Their voices are soft and musical, speaking in the liquid syllables of Nahuatl, the language that flows like water and sings like wind through reeds. Even their games are quiet, respectful of the peaceful atmosphere that settles over the market. With the approaching night, you discover a section devoted entirely to jade, the green gold that the Aztecs prize above all other precious materials. Craftsmen sit cross-legged on mats, using obsidian tools to carve the hard stone into beads, pendants, and small figures. Their movements are patient and precise, understanding that jade cannot be rushed, only coaxed into revealing its hidden beauty through careful, meditative work. The setting sun paints the entire market in warm amber light, making everything glow as if lit from within. Vendors begin to light small oil lamps, their flames dancing gently in the evening breeze. The warm light mingles with the golden rays of the sun, creating an atmosphere of profound peace and contentment. You sit on a low stone bench beside a fountain, where clear water bubbles up from the earth. The sound is musical and constant, like a song that has been playing since the beginning of time. Small fish dart through the clear water, their silver scales flashing as they move. Children occasionally drop flower petals into the fountain, watching them swirl and dance on the gentle current. A vendor offers you a cup of chocolate, prepared in the traditional way with honey and vanilla. The liquid is warm and rich, tasting of earth and flowers and mysterious spices. As you sip, you feel the stress of the day melting away, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction and peace. The chocolate is more than a drink. It is communion with the gods, a liquid prayer that connects you to the sacred forces of growth and abundance. as darkness begins to settle over the market, torches are lit with ceremonial care. Their flames dance against the deepening sky, casting warm circles of light that create intimate spaces. Within the larger marketplace, the sounds grow even softer, voices dropping to whispers, footsteps becoming silent on the smooth stone paths. You feel your eyelids growing heavy as the tranquil atmosphere works its ancient magic. The market holds you in its gentle embrace, rocking you with the rhythm of commerce, conducted with respect and reverence. Your breathing slows to match the peaceful pulse of the evening, and you drift into dreams filled with the scent of flowers, the taste of chocolate, and the soft whisper of jade beads, clicking together like distant rain. Chapter 5. The Night Garden of Singing Waters ***. You find yourself in the royal gardens of Tenochtitlan. As the moon rises full and bright over the lake, casting everything in silver light that transforms the familiar world into something magical and dreamlike, the gardens stretch around you in perfect geometric harmony, a living mandala of plants, water, and stone, designed to soothe both the eye and the spirit. Your bare feet follow a path of smooth obsidian chips, gleaming like scattered stars in the moonlight. Each step is silent, cushioned by the perfect placement of the stones. The path winds gently between raised beds, where night-blooming flowers release their perfume into the cool air. These are gardens designed for evening contemplation, where the day's heat gives way to the gentle embrace of darkness. Water flows everywhere around you, but not in rushing torrents or dramatic cascades. Instead, it moves with the gentle persistence of natural springs, following channels carved into the living rock, creating a network of streams that connect reflecting pools with raised planters. The sound is continuous but soft, like whispered conversations between old friends who have all the time in the world. Moon-white water lilies float on the dark surface of the largest pool, their petals glowing as if lit from within. Koi fish move slowly beneath them, their movements creating gentle ripples that catch the moonlight and scatter it in ever-widening circles. You kneel beside the pool's edge, trailing your fingers in water that is surprisingly warm, heated by stones that absorbed the day's sunshine, and now release it slowly into the night. The air is perfumed with the scent of tuberose and jasmine, flowers that wait for darkness to share their most intoxicating fragrances. Night-blooming cereus opens its ghostly white petals nearby, a flower so rare and precious that people will sit vigil just to witness its brief moment of blooming. Its perfume is sweet and mysterious, like the breath of angels. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves of the sacred ceiba tree that towers over the garden's center. This great tree, with its thorny trunk and wide-spreading branches, is believed to connect the underworld, the earth, and the heavens. Its leaves whisper ancient secrets as they move, telling stories of creation and renewal that are older than human memory. You walk slowly toward a circular meditation area where smooth stone benches surround a shallow reflecting pool. The water is so still it mirrors the star-filled sky perfectly, creating the illusion that you are walking through space itself, surrounded by constellations above and below. This is a place designed for contemplation, where the boundary between earth and heaven seems to dissolve. In the herb garden, medicinal plants release their healing properties into the night air. Passion flower vines climb graceful trellises, their intricate blossoms looking like purple stars against the dark wood. Valerian and chamomile grow in neat rows, their subtle fragrances combining to create a natural sleep potion that seems to emanate from the earth itself. Even breathing near these plants brings a sense of deep calm and relaxation. A small shrine dedicated to Zakiketzel stands hidden among the flowering vines. The goddess of flowers and beauty is carved from pale jade, her serene expression barely visible in the dappled moonlight that filters through the leaves above. Fresh flowers are arranged at her feet, offerings left by those who understand that beauty is itself a form of prayer. You sit on one of the stone benches, feeling the smooth surface still warm from the day's sun. The stone seems to pulse gently beneath you, as if the entire garden has a heartbeat that thrums through every rock and tree and flower. You close your eyes and listen to the symphony of night sounds, the soft splash of fish jumping, the whisper of wind through leaves, the distant call of an owl hunting over the lake. Water trickles constantly through the garden's channels, following courses carved by master engineers who understood that the sound of moving water is nature's own lullaby. The moon climbs higher, casting the garden in increasingly brilliant silver light. Every leaf and petal seems to glow with captured radiance. Shadows become soft and indistinct, creating mysterious grottos and hidden alcoves, where imagination can wander freely. This is a landscape designed to inspire dreams, where the ordinary world gives way to realms of pure beauty and peace. You discover a small pavilion built over a natural spring. The structure is simple but elegant, its wooden posts carved with spiraling motifs that echo the movement of water. Inside, stone seats surround the spring source, where clear water bubbles up from deep in the earth. The sound is hypnotic, a constant gentle percussion that seems to arise from the planet's very heart. Fish swim lazily in the spring's clear depths, their scales catching the moonlight like living jewels. Some are gold, others silver. A few show the deep orange of autumn leaves. They move without urgency, following currents invisible to human eyes, their dance ancient and meditative. Each movement sends new patterns of light, rippling across the water's surface. You lean back against the pavilion's carved post, feeling your muscles relax completely for the first time in memory. The sound of flowing water seems to sync with your heartbeat, your breathing, even your thoughts. Everything slows to match the garden's eternal rhythm: growth and rest, life and renewal, tension and release. A gentle mist begins to rise from the warming water, creating ghostly curtains that drift between the trees. The effect is magical rather than ominous, like veils of silver tissue that soften all the hard edges of the world. You breathe in the moist air, tasting the mineral sweetness of the spring water and the floral perfumes that hang in the humid atmosphere. Night-blooming plants continue to open around you, each one adding its unique fragrance to the garden's complex perfume. Clocks spread their bright pink trumpets. Evening primrose glows like captured moonbeams. Angel's trumpet hangs its white bells from graceful branches. Together they create an olfactory symphony, speaking directly to the deepest centers of the brain, triggering responses older than language itself. Your eyelids grow increasingly heavy as the garden's peace works its ancient magic. The constant sound of flowing water becomes a lullaby, rocking your consciousness like a gentle mother singing her child to sleep. The moonlight seems to press softly against your skin, warm and comforting as a silk blanket. Your breathing deepens and slows, matching the eternal rhythm of the springs that have bubbled up from the earth since time began. The last thing you remember is the soft splash of a fish jumping in the distance, the whisper of night wind through the sable leaves, and the sweet perfume of night-blooming flowers, opening their hearts to the darkness. The garden holds you in its silver embrace, cradling you with the patience of stones and the tenderness of flowing water, as you drift into dreams as deep and peaceful as the ancient springs that sing their eternal lullaby beneath the star-filled sky. Your consciousness dissolves like moonlight on water, becoming one with the garden's eternal dance of growth and rest, sleeping and waking, darkness and light. In this sacred space where water and stone and growing things have found perfect harmony, you rest as generations have rested before you, held by the same springs, cooled by the same breezes, blessed by the same silver moon that has watched over this paradise since the beginning of time. And in your dreams you are water flowing, moonlight dancing, flowers blooming in the eternal darkness, part of the great cycle that connects all living things. In an endless song of peace and renewal, the night garden sings you deeper into rest, its lullaby as old as the earth itself, as constant as the stars, as gentle as the first rain falling on sleeping seeds. Sleep comes like mist rising from warm water, soft and inevitable, carrying you into the deepest rest you have ever known, wrapped in the garden's eternal embrace, rocked by springs that have sung the same lullaby for 1,000 years, and will sing it for 1,000 more. while the moon watches over all, and the night blooming flowers open their hearts to the darkness, sharing their sweetest perfumes with the sleeping world. Sometimes, there's a splash of blood red in someone's outfit, elegant, ominous, and almost always suggesting, "I've killed a man for less than a fashion mistake." And of course, there are the swords. For a samurai, the paired long and short swords, called daisho, aren't just weapons. They're a badge of authority. Drawing one in public is a last resort, but wearing them incorrectly, that's a good way to get corrected very sharply. Peasants, by contrast, wear cotton and humility. Their clothes are mostly brown, gray, or beige, not because they like neutral tones, but because dyed fabric is expensive, and they're too busy trying to survive to care about matching colors. This isn't minimalism. It's just reality. And yes, those really are their only sandals. Merchants wear better materials, they have money, but even they rank below samurai and peasants in the social order. So they keep it subtle. Rich but not too rich. Silk is fine as long as it's subdued. Rich merchant families become experts at dressing just well enough to seem respectable, but not so flashy that a bored samurai decides to pick on them. Artisans and craftsmen dress neatly but modestly. Their clothes are durable, practical, and most of all, not attention-grabbing. In this culture, drawing attention to yourself is seen as a personality flaw. Then there are the women. They have to walk a tightrope between grace, obedience, and wearing up to 12 pounds of folded meaning on their bodies. Hairstyles are coded. Kimono patterns are seasonal. If you wear the wrong color at the wrong time of year, meant for a different festival, congratulations. You've embarrassed your whole household and might have just started a neighborhood whisper war. So what you wear in feudal Japan isn't just about fashion. It's about rank, ritual, and surviving the judgment of everyone around you, including your mother-in-law and possibly the gods. You might imagine moonlit walks under cherry blossoms, whispered poetry under paper lanterns, a dramatic kiss between a samurai and a forbidden princess. But if you're a peasant in feudal Japan, your marriage is arranged by your parents and maybe also the village elder. Nobody asks if you're romantically compatible. What matters is strong legs and healthy teeth. If you're born into a samurai family, it gets more serious. Marriage is a tool used for political alliances, land deals, or settling old grudges. The goal isn't happiness. It's stability, the kind that won't collapse during the next harvest. A proposal might be written in perfect calligraphy, using the right seasonal metaphors, and quietly delivered by a maid who knows everyone's secrets. Women don't really get to choose. A samurai daughter might be married off at 15. She's expected to master calligraphy, etiquette, sewing, and most importantly, the art of never expressing disappointment out loud. Her role is to give birth to sons, pour tea, and definitely not fall in love with the flute teacher. Real romantic love, the kind with eye contact and intense feelings, belongs to poetry, stage plays, and tragic ghost stories. If you want to experience love in feudal Japan, you'll have to watch a no play about two doomed lovers who turn into mist. If you try to step outside your assigned relationship structure without permission, the punishment could be carried out by your spouse, your lord, or your in-laws, whoever gets to you first. Even samurai commonly took concubines, but that didn't simplify anything. It just added more people who could be disappointed quietly. So yes, people fell in love, secretly, painfully, often with the wrong person, always at the worst possible time. Because in feudal Japan, love wasn't banned, it was just dangerously inconvenient. And now death. And now death. In feudal Japan, death isn't distant or dramatic. It's right there, built into the system. Start with the samurai. They walk around with two swords and a personal death plan. Lose a battle? Seppuku. Insult someone's honor? Seppuku. Spill sake on the daimyo's robe? Seppuku. Maybe even with music playing in the background. And it's not private, it's public. A full-on ceremony. As precise as a tea ritual, except with a lot more internal bleeding. Don't think peasants had longer lives, either. If you're a farmer and the rice harvest fails, you're starving. If your village can't meet its tax quota, your head might literally be used to make a very stern point. Drought? Plague? Bandit raid? Pick your favorite flavor of sudden demise, and good luck trying to stop it. Your most advanced form of medicine is warm tea, and a strong belief in herbal optimism. Speaking of bandits, yes, they're real. They're everywhere. And they don't care that you spent all year growing those daikon radishes. The roads outside towns are so dangerous that people simply don't travel unless they absolutely have to. The phrase, "maybe we'll visit your cousin next year," basically means, "I like being alive." If you're a woman, childbirth is a dice roll. Complications? The response is usually, pray harder and boil another towel. If your husband dies in disgrace, you might be expected to follow him, not emotionally, but literally, with a dagger. And then there's nature itself. Earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, famines. Japan is a disaster artist. Your home can be washed away, burned, buried at any time. The only insurance policy is a well-tied roof and deep spiritual acceptance. But maybe the darkest part? You're expected to accept all of this calmly. Crying out in fear or resisting fate is considered undignified. A true hero, before death, composes a poem and faces the end like it's just another awkward dinner with their clan. Is beautiful in a way, but mostly as historical decor. Today, you're told to follow your dreams, be yourself, and live your truth. In feudal Japan, your truth is whatever your clan says it is. Individualism isn't a virtue, it's a red flag. You don't exist as a lone star of destiny. You're a very small branch on a very important family tree. And your job is to keep that tree from catching fire, usually by not doing anything embarrassing. like expressing personal opinions or falling in love with a merchant's daughter. Your clan is everything, your identity, your reputation, your future. You are part of a web of obligations. It might as well be a spiritual spreadsheet. Even the samurai, proud, honorable warriors, they don't fight for themselves. They fight for their daimyo, their household, their ancestors. And if they die, it should be in a way that makes everyone above them look great. Because dying with honor is one thing. Dying in a way that slightly embarrasses your clan, that's the stuff of generational nightmares. Your actions reflect on your father. His actions reflect on his father. Your grandfather's actions may still affect how your cousin gets treated in a province miles away. It's not guilt by association. It's life by association. Want to open a noodle shop because you love cooking? That's adorable. Unfortunately, your clan raises horses, and until further notice, so do you. Interested in painting? Excellent. You'll be decorating the temple, under strict supervision, with no creative freedom, and don't even think about scandal. One badly timed affair, one drunken moment, or one poem that's just a little too passionate, and the shame hits everyone. Your siblings get shunned. Your mother's reputation is ruined. Your great-uncle might even have to disembowel himself to restore the family's honor. You are not a person. You are a representative, a chess piece, and a walking liability. But hey, if you bow at the right time, follow orders, and marry who you're told, your clan might speak your name with something resembling pride. And in feudal Japan, that's as close as you get to earning a personal achievement badge. So let's say you've survived the social hierarchy, the arranged marriage, the honor codes, the rice tax. Congratulations. Now try surviving the weather. Feudal Japan is a masterpiece of natural beauty. Snow-capped mountains, serene STS, blooming cherry blossoms, and a complete nightmare when it comes to environmental chaos. The scenery is gorgeous. The climate wants you dead. Start with typhoons, massive storms that show up like angry gods, with enough rain and wind to make the structural integrity of your house vanish. The rice you planted all season, gone. These disasters are completely unpredictable. There's no warning siren, no emergency app, no alert system. You feel a brief moment of existential confusion, and then your house is sideways. If you survive the shaking, congratulations, you still have to worry about fire, because everything's made of wood, including your roof, your furniture, your neighbor's house, and your bad decisions. Flooding is common too. Too much rain, and the rivers swell. Your entire village turns into a muddy soup bowl. Your crops drown. Your animals wander off. Your landlord still wants taxes, of course. Now with interest. Droughts are just as cruel, Weeks of scorching sun with no rain. The land cracked and dry like a monk's humor. The rice fields shrivel. You pray to the gods. You perform rituals, well, technically, but with a healthy amount of suspicion. And then there's winter. Not a snowy wonderland, just cold. Long, dark nights, short, gray days. You burn tiny fires that go out by midnight. There's no central heating, just communal suffering. You warm your hands over a clay brazier and hope frostbite doesn't become trendy this year. Even volcanoes occasionally join the party. Japan sits on the ring of fire, and yes, that's exactly as exciting as it sounds. Eruptions can bury entire regions in ash, lava, and the awkward realization that your family shrine is now a rock garden. There's no FEMA, no national relief plan. If your house collapses, you rebuild it. If your food spoils, you go hungry. And if your lord's estate burns down, you quietly die in the ruins. In feudal Japan, nature isn't just a background element. It's a constant reminder that even the gods can have a bad day. Power flows downhill, so do responsibilities and expectations and blame. You think you're important? Think again. There is always someone above you. If you're a peasant, your life is controlled by the village headman. He reports to the local samurai. The samurai reports to the daimyo. The daimyo reports to the shogun. And the shogun maybe, possibly, whispers to the emperor. The emperor doesn't rule so much as haunt the capital. And even samurai, the sword-carrying forces of justice, aren't at the top. They spend their lives serving their lord, waiting for orders, sometimes fighting in battles they didn't start, over land they don't own, for glory they'll never personally receive. In theory, they're honored. In reality, they're very well-dressed middle management, with swords. The daimyo, those powerful lords who control entire provinces, might seem untouchable until the shogun thinks they're getting too bold. Suddenly, their castles are being inspected, their letters intercepted, their heads politely removed from their ambitions. The shogun is the most powerful man in Japan. He rules the country, the economy, and at least 4 cousins trying to poison his tea. He holds power, yes, but he doesn't sleep well. Meanwhile, the emperor technically outranks everyone, but has no real power. He's more of a sacred relic, someone you can't touch but also can't ignore. He blesses rituals, names eras, occasionally writes poetry, and is probably broke. This hierarchy isn't flexible. You don't climb it. You're placed and you stay put, like a very obedient bonsai tree. Wherever you are, peasant, merchant, samurai, or lord, someone above you controls your fate, and someone below you is quietly hoping you trip. In feudal Japan, what you learn, and whether you learn anything at all, depends entirely on where you are on the social ladder. Spoiler: if you're near the bottom, the ladder is mostly invisible, and occasionally on fire. Let's start at the top. Samurai children. They're the lucky ones. From a young age, they're trained in reading, writing, swordsmanship, etiquette, poetry, archery, horseback riding, and the ancient art of always looking unimpressed. You were just learning cursive. They were learning how to bow so precisely the gods take notes. Their education is intense, but it has a purpose. Serve the clan. Protect the name. Never cause embarrassment. They study Chinese classics. They memorize Bushidō. They learn how to recite poems and kill people, sometimes on the same day. Then you have merchant and artisan families. Their kids get some education, mostly math, bookkeeping, and basic reading. Just enough to run the business. They're not reading Confucius. They're learning how to calculate the price of pickled turnips in bulk. Practical? Yes. Glorious? Not really. As for peasant children, life in feudal Japan was brutal, just like the land itself. One moment you're going about your day, and the next your house is sideways. If you survive the shaking, you've still got to worry about fires because everything is made of wood, including, frankly, your bad decisions. And if it rains too much, rivers swell, your village turns into a muddy soup bowl, your crops drown, your animals wander off, and your landlord still wants his taxes, now with added interest. Droughts arrend Kinder. Weeks of scorching sun and no rain crack the ground open, and your rice paddies dry out like a monk's sense of humor. So you pray to the gods, you perform rituals, mostly out of habit, partly out of fear, and always with suspicion. And then comes winter, not a snowy wonderland, but a slow, communal suffering. Heating isn't central. It's a single clay brazier shared by everyone, and it usually burns out by midnight. You warm your hands and hope frostbite isn't trending this year. Oh, and don't forget the volcanoes. Japan's part of the Ring of Fire. Yes, it's exactly as fun as it sounds. One eruption could smother entire regions in ash, lava, or the awkward realization that your family shrine is now a rock garden. There's no FEMA, no national rescue. If your house collapses, you rebuild it. If your food spoils, you go hungry. If your lord's estate burns, that's your problem too. Nature isn't just a backdrop. It's a constant reminder that even the gods might be having a really bad day. And through all of this, power flows downhill, and so do expectations, duties, and blame. Think you're important? Think again. There's always someone above you. Say you're a peasant. Your life is run by the village headman, who answers to the local samurai, who answers to the daimyo, who answers to the shogun, who maybe, just maybe, whispers to the emperor. The emperor doesn't really rule. He haunts the capital like a sacred ghost. Even samurai, those sword-wielding, justice-upholding warriors, aren't on top. They serve their lords, wait for orders, and occasionally fight battles they didn't start over land they'll never own for honor they'll never receive. In theory, they're noble. In practice, they're middle management with a katana. The daimyo, powerful warlords who control armies and provinces, seem untouchable until the shogun decides they're getting too cozy. Then their castles get inspected, their letters intercepted, and their heads very gently separated from their political ambitions. And the shogun? He may be the most powerful man in Japan, but he's also got a collapsing economy and 4 cousins trying to poison his tea. Sure, he rules, but he doesn't sleep well. Meanwhile, the emperor technically outranks everyone but has 0 real authority. He blesses rituals, names eras, and occasionally writes poetry. He's also probably broke. This hierarchy isn't flexible. You don't climb it, you're placed and you stay there, like a very obedient bonsai tree. So wherever you are, peasant, merchant, samurai, or lord, someone above you controls your fate, and someone below you is just waiting for you to trip. In feudal Japan, what you learn, or whether you learn anything at all, depends entirely on where you sit on the social ladder. Spoiler: if you're near the bottom, the ladder is mostly invisible, and occasionally on fire. And through all of this, power flows downhill, and so do expectations, duties, and blame. Think you're important? Think again. There's always someone above you. Say you're a peasant. Your life is run by the village headman, who answers to the local samurai, who answers to the daimyo, who answers to the shogun, who maybe, just maybe, whispers to the emperor. The emperor doesn't really rule. He haunts the capital like a sacred ghost. Even samurai, those sword-wielding, justice-upholding warriors, aren't on top. They serve their lords, wait for orders, and occasionally fight battles they didn't start over land they'll never own for honor they'll never receive. In theory, they're noble. In practice, they're middle management with a katana. The daimyo, powerful warlords who control armies and provinces, seem untouchable until the shogun decides they're getting too cozy. Then their castles get inspected, their letters intercepted, and their heads very gently separated from their political ambitions. And the shogun? He may be the most powerful man in Japan, but he's also got a collapsing economy and 4 cousins trying to poison his tea. Sure, he rules, but he doesn't sleep well. Meanwhile, the emperor technically outranks everyone but has 0 real authority. He blesses rituals, names eras, and occasionally writes poetry. He's also probably broke. This hierarchy isn't flexible. You don't climb it, you're placed and you stay there, like a very obedient bonsai tree. So wherever you are, peasant, merchant, samurai, or lord, someone above you controls your fate, and someone below you is just waiting for you to trip. In feudal Japan, what you learn, or whether you learn anything at all, depends entirely on where you sit on the social ladder. Spoiler: if you're near the bottom, the ladder is mostly invisible, and occasionally on fire. Let's start at the top. The children of samurai. They're the lucky ones. From a young age, they're trained in reading, writing, swordsmanship, etiquette, poetry, archery, horseback riding, and the ancient art of looking deeply unimpressed at all times. While you're figuring out cursive, they're learning how to bow so precisely the gods take notes. Merchant and artisan kids also get some education, usually math, record keeping, maybe a little reading. but only what's needed for business. You're not reading Confucius, you're calculating how many pickled turnips you can sell in bulk. Eichel? Yes. Glorious? Not really. Peasant education looks like. In war, identity fades. Only power remains. If there was ever a moment that tested Artemisia's brilliance and boldness, it was the Battle of Salamis. This wasn't just any battle, it was the naval showdown of the Greco-Persian Wars. The massive Persian fleet, overconfident and overwhelming in size, faced off against a much smaller Greek navy, strategically positioned in the narrow straits near Athens. And it was here, among the waves between the jagged rocks, that everything came to a head. And it was here that Artemisia made one of the most shocking tactical moves of her entire career. Let's rewind a little. Before the battle, Artemisia had warned Xerxes not to engage the Greeks in such tight waters. She argued correctly that the Greeks' superior maneuverability and their intimate knowledge of the terrain would cancel out the Persian advantage in numbers. But Xerxes, intoxicated by his own pride and the size of his fleet, dismissed her warning. He didn't want strategy. He wanted a spectacle, a crushing, unforgettable victory. What he got instead was disaster. As the battle unfolded, chaos tore through the Persian lines. Ships collided.
Formation shattered.
The nimble Greek vessels darted between the lumbering Persian ones like sharks. It wasn't just a loss, it was a slaughter. And in the heart of the mayhem was Artemisia, commanding her flagship, surrounded by both allies and enemies, trapped in a battle that was falling apart. Then came the moment that's still debated by historians to this day. With a Greek ship chasing her down relentlessly, Artemisia made a decision that stunned everyone. She ordered her own ship to ram and sink another Persian vessel, one that belonged to an allied king. That's right, she attacked her own side. It was a move so shocking, so unexpected, that the Greeks assumed she must be one of them. They stopped the chase, and she slipped away untouched. Xerxes, watching from a hilltop, supposedly turned to his aides and said, "Thank you so much for spending this quiet moment with us here at Story to Sleep Star. If you enjoyed the story and felt a little closer to peace, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps bring more calming stories your way. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself. Good night, sweet dreams, and we'll see you in the next story."